Good day, folks. Get ready for day number 8 build. Today's project, or the project on hand, is we will be adding to this armature. There's about 13 different pieces that are somehow going to attach. I've been looking at the preliminary plans, and it does look a bit challenging, so let's give her a shot. This might be, again, part of my blooper reels. Tiny little screws. Hoping it's straight, because it's actually straight. However, let's start. So we start with our bolt as always, and put in a 7mm nut for a spacer, a little knurled nut for yet another spacer. We'll be sliding this gear over the top, and I like to have a nice side out, and that goes up against the nut, okay, like so. Then we're going to put this guy, I'm going to have him face in, so that's that orientation. It's nice and tight. And we're going to put in one of our smallest washers, so. Then we will put this down here for split and easier to hold. Pardon me. Put this guy in, and it's going to be oriented towards the front. And it's going to go orient this. It's going to be oriented. This is going to go this way. And I believe it doesn't get past that washer. That's good. Now we have a lock washer. Oops. Then we have one of these mountaintopy things, so that's going to go in again. That's orientation, that's going to go like so. And you always have to check your orientations, because hold it up to what it's eventually going to look like, although I have no real idea. So sometimes you have to trust your gut. I did have it right, but after checking, it's even more right. Again, I have no idea where this is going to end up once the final assembly is done, but we are at least moving forward. So at this point, I'm going to put a larger washer on. I'm going to put a chrome spacer, and we are going to put this in. Ooh. Well, now, isn't that interesting? Well, it looks like, much to my chagrin, I have to turn this around, because as it turns out, you can put this piece backwards. This actually needs to be on that side. So I'll tell you what, I'll make a quick correction. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, after a quick redo, we now have this oriented in a proper direction. back at the exact last step that we were. Now we have this little hump on here. We need to put in a washer. And then we're going to have these chrome pieces go on. And then it's going to go into this thing. So this one looks like that. Sort of orientate it this way. So this goes on here like so. This is will eventually fit into here. Okay. There we go. I think I'm almost right. Then at this point, I need another washer. Like so. And then a brass grommet, so which the washer will accommodate. And then we're very, very lucky to get one of these acorn nuts on here. Oh. Almost. But not quite. Here we go. Try that again. Force it down a little bit to get enough meat on the threads. Whoa. All right, so let me tighten this down a little bit. And if I was my screwdriver, I would be right here. So let's just see. Now, I'd have to say that this first piece appears to be in. Now again, things tend to be rather loose on here. Now I'm again assuming that that is how they want it to be. There's the lock nut, so I probably need to tighten this up just a tiny bit more. So bear with me. And again, the illustrations are quite good, but you have to be very meticulous in how you look at them, because things like having a split ring or a lock washer, and they need to be tight-ish. So I would have to say, based on what I'm seeing on the diagram and what I'm seeing here, this must be correct because this is what they've asked for. And so let's continue on with the balance of this step, which consists of a smaller bolt and oh, I see. Yet again, I have to put another piece in. So I will be back.
I have a slight correction to make. I'll be right back.
I'm back. So I just, here's a tip, first real pro tip on this. In step 41, they're going to want to have this bushing slide into this other chrome piece. It's such a tight fit, I actually had to tap it down with a hammer. So that's going to give me the extra space we need to actually get everything through here, which is what I was finding it very difficult to actually get everything through. So what we have, so this will have to go in from this side. Again, you have to modify the instructions a tiny bit. So put this in here like so, and then we'll have our nut go in through like so. It gives us a little bit more purchase to get this piece on. There we go. And that made all the difference in the world. Almost. And again, if you had 3 hands, it would be a little bit better, but just that little bit of extra is all we needed to get this piece to actually do what we wanted it to do. So again, that's step 41, getting the brass bushing to fit correctly inside. To fit correctly inside of this mechanism. Holy moly. We just needed to make sure that the grommet goes, or the bushing fits all the way inside this chrome piece. And as you can see, it's a very tight fit. It wants to go. You can see it that it just about fits, but doesn't quite. So, having said that, let's continue on to the next step, which is exactly the same, well, not exactly the same, similar. Okay, so this goes that way, this goes that way, that goes that way. I'm going to put a screw, a hook. Okay. Again, this is where put a washer. This is where the tweezers come in handy. Oops. And then this. Wow. Okay. Go back, go back, go back. Not that. Okay. All right, so at this point, what I have to do, get that out of the way for now. I'm going to put this in. And if I put this on, yeah, I still won't have room. So as I said before, this piece and this piece, as you can see,
They don't quite fit inside of each other. So I will be back in one moment to see what we can do about pounding this together. So stay tuned.